Hi Scrubs, I hope you're well. So this video was requested by Meg X, Kate258 and by LunaMoon. So I'm doing an updated skiller video. So we're going to start off by breeding our own skiller foal. So to start off with, I've got a mare here that's 100 blop and a stallion that's 100 blop, and we're going to cover this mare with the stallion. And you can see both of those are 100 blop. Now the first thing that's extremely important with skiller foals is you need to use Aphrodite's tears, whether you use them inside a harrow pack or the item itself. The reason for this is it increases the foal's inborn skills. And skills are extremely important when it comes to skillers. So now that we've put the tears onto the mare, we'll click cover my mare. So you can see now she's in foal to that stallion with those tears, and we're going to age her until the foal is born. Okay, so the mare's ready to foal. We're going to go and get the vet, and our foal has been born. So we're just going to call this one skiller. Okay, so the first thing we need to do, and this is one of the biggest changes, is you can now add nix packs whenever a foal is just a few hours old. It used to be that you had to wait till 1 year 6 months, so we're going to click add nix pack. Okay, so now that the next pack is on the foal, it's not going to cost us any aging points to age this foal forward. So now we want to get this foal to 6 months. Okay, so now the foal is 6 months. There's a few things that are extremely important. The first one is we need to find a 60 EC. So first we're going to register my horse, and we're going to have a look here at a couple of possible ECs. So this one here has mission earnings. So this is what I mean by lessons. Mission earnings of 60 equus. Anything lower is going to give us less skills from doing these missions / lessons, and it's kind of a waste of time. The other thing that's important is the bonus. The maximum bonus there could possibly be is plus 40. We've only got a plus 38 available to us, so we're going to go with this one, but if you were entering this horse into get Grand Prix or Rosettes, I would only advise going with a plus 40 if possible. So we're going to register in this EC with this foal, so that's it, foal now in. So the next important step happens at 8 months, so we're just going to age this foal forward, and now we can do full games. So full games are extremely important because they add skills onto the foal. So if we just have a quick look here now, don't worry too much if you don't have this, but we'll just take a note of this number. So this total number, the foal was born with this. So we're just going to quickly name the foal after that. Okay, so if you don't have the VIP perk for this, don't worry too much. But in here we can see the amount of skills the foal was born with, the innate skills or the inborn skills. So now we're about to do games. And the maximum we can get from games is 60 skills. So we want to make sure we do this right. Now, if you don't know how to do full games, have a look at my full game videos and practice on a non-skiller foal to start with. So we're just going to complete these. 1 year 4 months is the last time that the foal can gain anything from full games. So we're just going to do a bit more play here. Feed the foal. And we can see that we only have 3.6 more skills that we can add. So full game should be completed now. We're just going to click in here to check, and you can see that we got 100% of them done. We got all 60 skills, and it says 100% inside, so that is complete. So now what we're going to do is age this foal to 1 year 6 months. So 1 year 6 months is quite important because this is when the foal turns into an adult, and this is the point. If you have a particular VIP bonus, you can geld the horse. Now you might be thinking, why am I going to geld it? Well, there's a reason for this. If you go down here to bonuses, there's just the equestrian center bonus that we have on this horse, but when we click on castrate, we castrate this horse. If we just refresh the page, we've now got what is called the gelding bonus, and this is a very important bonus if you're going to be doing competitions and the like. That will help towards it. So if you do not have the VIP perk to geld at 1 year and 6 months, don't worry, you can geld at 2 years and 6 months instead, so don't panic. Okay, so now that our horse is gelded, we're just going to begin doing some of the rides up here. So we'll start with forest because the horse is in a forest EC. It doesn't really matter if you start with forest or mountain, you're going to need to do both anyway, so don't worry particularly which one you start with. And we want to get this horse to 2 years old because that's the next important stage with this. Okay, so now that we're aging the horse to 2 years old. 2 years old is extremely important because this is when the water of youth is added to the horse. And the reason you add water of youth is because it now ages the horse at 1 month instead of 2 months. You might be thinking, well, why would I want to do that? That's just going to make it take longer. Yes, but it means you can do more of these missions lessons, okay? So, you can see that we're going to be adding to jumping and speed. There's 0.25. So, so long as we're doing lessons every single day, these missions. Your horse can gain these skills only between 2 years old and 25, so we want to make sure that we add on the Water of Youth at 2 years old. So we're going to do our first mission, and you can see that that has added on to our skills, which is exactly what we want. And we'll start doing some more rides. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep aging this horse, making sure I do lessons / missions with it, and then doing the rides, and we'll come back in a bit. So once your horse is 3 years old, you're able to add equipment to the horse. Now you could just add on some of this equipment, but you don't want to do that. What you want is the Poseidon's pack. So this is the best gear that you can have, and you want to add one onto the horse, and that's going to give us the best possible tack bonuses. So that's the tack that you want to add on. There are other items that you can add on. I'm going to add on a few of these items. I may not add everything on, but I'm going to add a Medusa's blood to the horse. The reason for this is it's a bonus item. As you can see here, it gives a bonus. You can click on give bonuses and add some of these other bonuses individually. I'm just going to use the bonus pack instead, because it'll just add them all in one go for me. So we're going to click on that. And then when we go down here and have a look at the horse, you can see it's got a bunch of new bonuses. If you're ever unsure what kind of bonuses are available, you can go into the black market and scroll down to the bonus section here and see what these do. So that's quite useful if you're unsure. So back to our horse here, there's a few other things I'm going to add at this point. I am also going to go ahead and add a harmony pack. Now, you wouldn't necessarily have to go with a harmony pack. Some people like to add something like a fifth element. Sometimes if you're lucky, you'll actually end up with better bonuses. It can depend. I'm just going to go with a harmony pack, however. So we're going to choose a nice coat to go with this. If any of them would actually load at the moment, that's the thing. Right, we'll go with this coat. We're going to put the hailless background in as well. Now these are more customizational, although the golden apple does give a bonus. So we're going to add these. And there's one other thing I want to do, and I've mentioned it in some of my previous videos, where I have less and less and less in, and I put one in green, one in orange, and one in red, and I call it traffic light. The traffic light lesson, and it's just helped me remember to lessen my horse, but because I want to keep the inborn skill number here, I'm just going to put this in a couple of colors here to try and make sure I remind myself to keep putting my horse into lessons, because it is sometimes very easy to forget, and then it kind of ruins your horse and it's a bit annoying. So we're just gonna put that in a few different colors there to try and make sure that I see it. Okay, so what I'm going to continue doing is just doing some more rides and continuing to do missions every single day. Okay, so I'm just about to finish forest rides, so if we select here, you can sort of see no matter if I pick an hour or 30 minutes, it's only going to add me a few more skills. So now when I select that, you can see I don't get any more skills, it's just going to take energy. And it should be the same with mountain. So whenever I select on mountain, okay, so both mountain and forest rides are done. At the moment, beach rides don't show up, and that's because they won't appear until 5 years old, so you don't need to worry about those yet. So now what I'm going to start doing is continuing to do missions every single day, but to start and train all of these up. I'm not going to worry about which order I do them in, for a few reasons. One is because I've already added my horseshoe studs. Horseshoe studs, when they're added to a horse, go to whatever skill is the highest at the time. So for example, if you wanted to add the horseshoe stud bonus to dressage, you'd need to make sure your dressage on your horse was the highest skill at the time that you add those horseshoe studs. Because this horse is very talented in jumping, and when I added the horseshoe studs, its highest skill was jumping. That's why that has assigned to that skill. So at 5 years old, there's a few things that happen. The first one is beach rides now appear. We're not going to worry about those just yet. The other thing is now we can add a piece of cloud pack. Now you'll have access to a piece of cloud pack if you have VIP account or Pegasus subscription, and it gives you 20 pieces of cloud for 5 passes, which is much better than buying 20 individual pieces of cloud, unless you've saved them up. So we're going to add this piece of cloud pack now. Okay, so the piece of cloud pack is important for a few reasons. When you have a piece of cloud pack, you can make your horse younger, and by doing this you can allow yourself to do more of these missions lessons up here. So adds more skills essentially, and that's why cloud packs are so important when it comes to skillers. You don't want to leave them out. Okay, so we're just about to finish jumping here on this horse. So all of the training is done. We've completed all of forest rides, we've completed all of the mountain rides. Now, beach rides. So beach rides are different to forest and mountain. Forest and mountain just add skills. Beach rides move skills. So for example, this horse's worst skill is trot, so it automatically defaults to decrease trot and improve jumping because jumping its best skill. But you can change these. So if you wanted to add the trot skills to stamina, or if you wanted to move the jump skills to, say, dressage, you can do that. But it automatically defaults to whatever the lowest skill is to add it to the highest skill. So we're just going to finish off beach rides here. So if I just refresh that. Okay, so now it won't let me do anything else because I've transferred all of the skills, and it won't let me do anything in mountain or forest as well. So that's all of those done. So the next thing is competitions. So we're working with a horse that I've decided to make a Western skiller, but if you're working with classical, the method is much the same. All different competition types add skills to different skills out of stamina, speed, dressage, gallop, trot, and jump. So you can see here in this guide where trot adds to speed, dressage, and trot. Gallop does speed and dressage, but gallop instead. So you would want to pick a mix of those competitions that would bold all of these 6 skills. So Western is much the same, but thankfully there's 2 competitions that will do this for me. So Barrel will bold stamina, speed, and gallop, and Trail will bold dressage, trot, and jump. Now, I have already finished trail rides on my horse, so you can see when I hover over it just says duration. If I click it, it just takes away energy, but does not add any skills. Now, if I hover over some of these other competitions, you can see some are adding skills and some aren't. So, barrel is what I want to do because we've bolded dressage, trot, and jumping because those are the ones that trail adds to. So now we just need speed, gallop, and stamina. So we're just going to do some barrel races now in order to do that. So we'll do another barrel race, and you can see now that all the skills are bolded. We also made sure to do our lesson, so we're just going to age this horse again. So now our horse is completely bolded in all of its skills. So if we click on view details here, so we have our innate skills, we have the 60 skills we got from full games, we completed mountain and forest rides, we then did all of our training, we then did all of the competitions, and then we moved all of the skills with the rides on the beach. So the last thing we need to finish is missions/lessons. So this is the bit that we need to focus on now. So the next technique I'm going to show you is not something to do. If your horse does not have a Philosopher's Stone, just don't do this, okay? But basically what I'm going to do from this point on is I'm going to click on Mission and Age. And the reason I do this is it's faster than looking after my horse. My horse is going to go low in health, but it's not going to die because this horse has a Philosopher's Stone. Do not do this if your horse doesn't have a Philosopher's Stone, okay? The reason for this is because of a thing called the health penalty, where if your horse is low in health at any point when you do rides, training, or competitions, you actually lose skills. But this health penalty doesn't apply to lessons, and that is why I do this particular technique. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep doing this every day. I'm going to click on Lesson and Age. I'm not going to feed the horse, I'm not going to do cares or anything, and I'm going to age it up to 23 years old. So now my horse is 23 years old, and I haven't used any of the pieces of cloud, so I want to use these now. Now these will make the horse younger, which will allow you to do more lessons, and that is the exact reason why you use them, because they're going to help you increase the skills on the horse. You just need to make sure that you use them before the horse is 25 when you're doing skillers, so I'm just going to use them now, and then what I'm going to do is age my horse back up to 23. Okay, so we've used our last piece of cloud. You can see that it's just displayed as a piece of cloud pack. That's because I've used all of the pieces of cloud, and we've got the horse back down in age again. So I'm just going to continue doing the lesson/mission and age again, not feeding, and I'm going to age it back up to 23. So now that my horse has reached 23 years of age, I've used all of the pieces of cloud. It's completely bolded. I want to start taking care of it again, but making sure that I don't miss these. So we're going to start feeding it up again to improve the health. Now the reason this is so important is because if your horse is low in health, then it's going to perform poorly in competitions. If it's just like if its morale was low. So this is why you want the health to be at max before you would put it into, say, rosette competitions or the Grand Prix or just general competitions with a skiller. There's also a few perks that you might find are useful if you skill a lot. If you just have Peggy and VIP, obviously the cloud pack, having access to it makes it a lot cheaper than using individual pieces of cloud if you have to buy them. If you just have VIP, you'll automatically have the ability to unlock the horseshoe stud bonus and also have the Achilles heel automatically added to next packs. Now there are other perks then that you have to choose to use, and those include assessing the maximum skills of the horse, which is this one that I have activated at the moment. You also have preventing skill penalties when your horse is in 100% health, so obviously the health penalty that I was talking about earlier, if you do a lot of skillers you might want that. The other one is to find competition with rosettes in them. It might be very useful if you're getting a skiller that you want to use to win a lot of rosettes with. That might be quite ideal. If you're somebody that competes in show jumping and western pleasure competitions, you might want to have the bonus that removes penalties in that, because sometimes you could enter a horse that has all the capabilities of winning, let's say, the show jumping or the western pleasure Grand Prix, you get a penalty and you lose to a horse that has less skills, and it's extremely frustrating, so that's something to bear in mind. The ability to register your horses to competitions automatically in one click, you know, auto comps, very helpful, especially when you're skilling or just trying to get a skiller into a lot of competitions in general. You know, cancelling the boarding of horses in your own EC, if you use your own EC to board, that is helpful as well. And obviously, you know, gelding your stallions when they're 1 year and 6 months old instead of 2 years and 6 months can be very helpful if you're somebody that sells a lot of skillers or just produces quite a lot. That might be something else to consider. I mean, there's other perks out there that might help you with skillers. Those are just some that I've named. So we're almost done. This horse is starting to increase its health again, so we'll start giving it some health mash on top of feeding and just general care. Okay, so here is the last one. There's our last lesson that we've done. So now, let's go and see if we've messed this up. Now, you will be able to automatically add this all together with this number, what the foal was born with, and the 60 skills that you added, but if you don't have that, then you can, or if you have this particular thing here, you can just check instead. So, thankfully, we have done lessons correctly, because the maximum amount you can get for missions, if you use a water of youth from 2 years old to 25 and you use 20 pieces of cloud and you lesson / mission every single day, is 178.50 skills. So we have actually done this properly, thank goodness. So you've got your innate skills, you've got your full games were done correctly, we've got rides, training sessions done completely, competitions, rides on the beach. So everything has been done and this horse has been skilled properly. So if we go on estimate here, we can assess the maximum skills with this particular thing here, so you can actually have a look. So that number, 14,315, so this should be the exact same as that, and it is. So there you go, you can actually check as well if you have that extra VIP perk for estimating it. So that skiller has been correctly skilled, which is the good news. So the other thing I'm just going to mention, and I have videos on these in case you're unsure about it, but Falabella bonus and the Tub of Grace. So these are two extra bonuses which are extremely important when it comes to competitions, like Grand Prix for example. So this horse, you can get the Tub of Grace just by doing mission / lessons. So we're just going to quickly age this horse again, and we'll see if we can get it. No, we didn't get it that time. See, this is the thing, the moment I need this bonus, it's not going to appear for me. Let's do it again. Okay, so there we've just found the Tub of Grace. Now the Falabella. So Falabellas are a little bit different to the Tub of Grace. Whenever you're trying to get a Falabella bonus, you want to make sure you get it in the right competition type. So let's say, just for example, we wanted the barrel race Falabella. You would enter barrel competitions and you would get the Falabella bonus for barrel. So be very careful with Falabella bonuses. You get it on the wrong bonus for the wrong competition and you're kind of screwed. For that one we just wanted to get it on barrel. So if I just refresh this here, you're able to see that this is a barrel bonus Falabella. It will differ for different competition types. We can also see the Tub of Grace is added in there. And obviously, if you want to find an equestrian centre that has plus 40, then you're going to need to find an equestrian centre which has maxed out its lessons, right, so they're plus 20, but then has a vet as well as an expert diploma. That's what makes it plus 40. So that's just something to bear in mind. So that is how to skill. If you're unsure of anything, have a look at some of my older skilling videos, because some of them go maybe a little more depth in certain areas. But thank you to Meg X, Kate258 and to LunaMoon for requesting the video. I hope you had a lovely day, scrubs, and bye guys!